Hey trainers, and today we are here with a tier list, but this is not any tier list. This tier list will be extremely helpful for your Pokemon Champions journey. In this one, we will be analyzing and ranking the best Mega Evolutions that are returning to Pokemon. So let's dive into this. So the first one that we have here is Mega Venusaur. So Mega Venusaur is quite interesting. It is a grass and poison type, and this Pokemon is extremely bulky. It was introduced in Pokemon X and Y, and it was actually pretty good in my opinion. So as you all know, grass types have a lot of weaknesses, right? But due to this Mega Evolution, this Pokemon actually gains the ability Thick Fat. So this ability is extremely good for a grass type Pokemon because it will reduce the damage from fire and ice type moves by 50%, meaning that basically this Pokemon loses to weaknesses when it Mega evolves, which is actually really interesting. It still has weaknesses to both flying, psychic, but it's the only weaknesses that it has. The poison typing also protects Mega Venusaur, right, from poison type damage, which is really good. This Pokemon, like I said, is extremely bulky. It has 80 HP, but what matters the most is its defense, special attack and special defense. It has 123 on its defense stat, 120 on its defense, and 122 on his special attack. And with Thick Fat reducing this Pokemon's weaknesses, you can all see why this Pokemon is so amazing. Also have really good ways to recover HP, being with attacks like Giga Drain, but also status moves like Leech Seed and Synthesis. So yeah, this Pokemon was really good, really difficult to get out of the field, and one really good thing that this Pokemon also had was the fact that it had the status move of Growth. Growth gives this Pokemon a +1 boost to both attack and special attack, but in the Sun it actually gives a +2 boost to both of those stats. So it is pretty fantastic, right? So yeah. Ranking Mega Venusaur, I would say that is a solid B tier Pokemon. This is the preliminary ranking. I will then, at the end of the video, rank the Pokemon again, just moving it around the same tier, or even just upping this Pokemon on its respective tiers. But yeah, I think this is a good start. It is a B tier Mega Evolution, and I think it's pretty accurate, to be honest. So the next one is Mega Charizard X. So editing Gonkas here. If you are enjoying the content so far and you want to see more content like this one, I mean like team building guides, complete teams that are built around this Mega Pokemon, or even the new ones, do check out the channel, as I'll be posting a lot of content around Pokemon Champions, not only Pokemon Champions but also Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Regulation F and Regulation I formats until the end of those. But Pokemon Champions content is on the rise here on the channel, so you can expect a lot of educational resources from my part. So this is a really cool Mega Evolution from Charizard, right? It loses its flying type and becomes a dragon. So it is a dragon fire Pokemon, and we all know how good that typing is, right? Only Reshiram and Turtonator has that typing. So it is really unfortunate, but it is a really good typing in my opinion. It gives Mega Charizard a lot of resistances, right? This Pokemon was weak to water types, which was a really big deal because you automatically lose in the rain right? You get both your fire stab moves reduced in damage output, and you take more damage from water type moves. Gaining the dragon typing does protect you from that weakness, which is really good. It also protects you from electric type damage that you were really weak against. So that is pretty good. Now the dragon typing also benefits a lot from the fire typing that this Pokemon gets, and that is the protection to ice type moves and the protection to fairy type moves as well, right? So this Pokemon is really consistent. It has only weaknesses to ground, dragon, and rock types. Yeah, it only has 3 weaknesses, which is really good. So this Pokemon, when it Mega Evolves, it actually gains a new ability that being called Tough Claws, which increases the power of moves that make physical contact by 33%. So is a boost of 1/3, which is really good. Now this Pokemon is not that well optimized because it actually has 130 on its attack stat, but it also has 130 on its special attack stat. A stat that you don't want to use with this form of Charizard, because you want physical type damage that make contact. This would be like Flare Blitz, Dragon Claw, so you know, you kinda lose a little bit of your strength with so many points invested in the special attack stat. And the other problem is that you only have base 100 speed stat, which is really low. It's like borderline useful, but as you will see when I make the other tier list with the new Mega Evolutions, you will see that 100 base speed is not enough if you want to compete, and this division on its offensive stats is horrible, like completely horrible. So I think that this Pokemon, although it is absolutely fantastic in its design, I think it's a D tier Pokemon. It's not that good. It's good defensively, but it loses a lot of prowess in its offense, which is what this Pokemon wants, and that is why it has the ability that it has, right? Now, the better version of Charizard is here, and that is his brother, Mega Charizard Y. So this Pokemon is extremely good, and I'm going to spoil you a bit. I think it's like a really fast S tier Pokemon, right? I think I'm just going to put it on S tier right away. And why is that? Although this Pokemon still has the fire flying typing that Charizard usually has, this Pokemon is a little bit better in the sense that it is more optimized for competitive play. We can see that on its special attack stat of 159. As at the time, this was absolutely fantastic, and it still is right now. But 159 special attack back then was like devastating, right? Anything that was struck with this Pokemon's special attack moves would just collapse. So yeah, absolutely fantastic special attack stat of 159, and the speed stat is still 100, which is not great, but this Pokemon can actually make use of that 100 special attack stat, and it actually isn't that bad because this Pokemon is a little bit it has a bit of investment on its special defense, and although Mega Charizard X has a good defense, physical defense, in my opinion, special defense is way more important than physical defense, and that is just because of the existence of the Intimidate ability, right? When we are judging this Pokemon, we are not just judging them for themselves, but their competitive viability, right? So this Pokemon is probably going to be paired with an Intimidate user, which is you know, just better, because it will make this Pokemon a lot more bulky, right? But yeah, this Pokemon also has access to one of the best abilities in the game, and that is Drought. Like I said, this Pokemon has a really high special attack stat of 159. It is a fire type, and when you have the Drought ability on top, an ability that reduces water type moves damage output and increases the damage of fire type moves, you know, like this Pokemon is just going to shred through teams. I think this is a really fantastic offensive piece that can actually play a little bit of a defensive role against rain teams. You just have to mega evolve it in a smarter way, in my opinion. Next up, we have Mega Blastoise. Mega Blastoise was actually one of my absolute favorite Mega Evolutions to come out, and this Pokemon is actually pretty cool. It gets the ability Mega Launcher. It is still a pure water type, sorry, and it gets the ability Mega Launcher. So what is Mega Launcher? Mega Launcher allows the increase of Aura and Pulse moves by 50%. This is really good because this Pokemon, Mega Blastoise, does have access to quite a bit of Aura and Pulse moves. For example, this Pokemon has access to Water Pulse, a stab move. Although it is only 60 base power, with the addition or the boost from Mega Launcher, this move actually goes up to 90 base power, which is a really good way to do consistent damage, right? And this is really important because now you have a strong and reliable water type move that can also confuse your opponent. So I think it's quite good. But something that this Pokemon does even better is the fact that it has access to Dragon Pulse. This Pokemon of course cannot really touch Dragon type Pokemon with its stab, right? As Dragon Pokemon resist water type moves, and the fact that it has access to Dragon Pulse at 85 base power move that is going to get boosted by 50%. I mean, it's absolutely fantastic because it is just going to rise up to 127 if I'm not mistaken, and even though it is not a stab move, it is still going to be doing a lot of damage. It also has access to Dark Pulse, but I don't think Dark Pulse is that good. I don't think that Dark type moves are that good in my opinion, just because although they do get rid of Psychic type Pokemon and Ghost type Pokemon, I don't think that is going to be like that impressive, you know. I think it's offensively that impressive, but yeah. So this Pokemon does have a good moveset, I think, but it also has fantastic stats. So this Pokemon actually gained a lot of bulk and special attack. So this Blastoise gain around 50. What the? I had to double check. Like, this Pokemon gained around 50 points in its special attack stat, which is absolutely enormous, and it gained a bit of defense and special defense as well. So this Pokemon is rocking a 120 defense stat and 115 special defense stat with a 79 HP, so it does have a good bulk, right? And then the special attack, which is the most important thing in this Pokemon, is of 135, which is actually pretty high, I think. I think that, you know, around 125, I think it's good, right, in the current meta, right? 125, I think it's pretty good. The fact that this Pokemon has 135 and has the Mega Launcher ability and this ridiculous bulk, I think it's really good. But the thing that I really don't like as much is the speed stat. It has a speed stat of 78, meaning that this Pokemon is not really a Trick Room Pokemon, but it's not a Tailwind Pokemon. It's a little bit in the middle, but in my opinion is still better than Mega Charizard X. Next up we have Mega Beedrill. Mega Beedrill is a really interesting Pokemon because it is actually really optimized, and I really like the memes that this Pokemon actually generated with either I sweep or I lose. I'm just going to put the meme here. But yeah, this Pokemon is not good for competitive play, for VGC in my opinion, because you are fighting against two Pokemon on the other side, right? And you only have single target damage with Mega Beedrill. The fact that this Pokemon has 150 base attack stat and 145 base speed stat is amazing. With adaptability, it just makes this Pokemon output a lot more damage, right? But the problem is that it only has 40 defense and 80 special defense, and this is not good at all, especially with the prevalence of priority type moves, right? And the other thing that you have to consider in VGC is that redirection is a really powerful tool that a lot of Pokemon have access to, a lot of viable Pokemon, and Pokemon that this Pokemon just cannot touch, right? For example, Among Us, and you can just Rage Powder this Pokemon to infinity, and it will not do anything to the opponent's team. So yeah, I think it could have been better, but in singles it's really good. In singles it is really good. Next up we have Mega Pidgeot. Mega Pidgeot is one of my favorite Megas as well. I think I'm going to be saying this from a lot of Pokemon, but it really is. I think it's a fantastic Pokemon. It has the no guard ability, which makes that so that the accuracy of all moves known by this Pokemon and all Pokemon targeting this Pokemon raises to 100%, meaning that you cannot miss moves when targeting this Pokemon or when this Pokemon targets you, right? And this is really good because Mega Pidgeot has access to a really strong roster of moves, those being Heat Wave and Hurricane. So Hurricane is really good. It is a 100 base stat move, if I am not mistaken. So let me just check here. 110 actually, that cannot miss. So it is really good. And then you also have access to Heat Wave. And why is this important? So flying type moves actually are resisted by Steel. So having the Heat Wave gives you a little bit of more coverage, and Mega Pidgeot is actually weak against Ice types, which Heat Wave is also really important against because it's super effective against Ice type Pokemon. I think this Pokemon is really good. It has a 135 special attack stat and 121 speed, although the speed is not the highest we've ever seen. I think that 121 is actually pretty good, and I'm going to rank this Pokemon on the B tier because it has access to really strong moves, it has a really good ability, and yeah, Stab Hurricane from this Pokemon really hurts, and flying type moves are actually really viable, right? And really precious. Next up we have Mega Alakazam. Mega Alakazam, I think I can just rank it out of the gate. This Pokemon will not be that great. I think it's going to be in the same tier as Mega Beedrill, unfortunately, and this is only because this Pokemon it does have access to Expanding Force, which is really important. I mean, it has access to Trace, it has access to Expanding Force. Psychic type moves don't hit that hard because we have a lot of resistances to Psychic type moves, but you know what, I think I'm just going to rank it above all of the other tiers, the D, E and F tiers, just because this Pokemon has a 175 special attack stat and 150 speed. It is extremely frail, so a lot of Pokemon have access to Sucker Punch right now and can just absolutely one-shot this Pokemon, so this Pokemon is kind of forced to run in a team that is able to just negate priority moves. So run it with Furry Giraffe and Indeedee with Psychic Terrain. With Psychic Terrain you also have access to Expanding Force, so I mean it's a really strong move, but I think you shouldn't... Oh, you don't have access to Expanding Force. Uh-oh, you don't have access to Expanding Force. Uh-oh. You are going to go into the E tier. Sorry. This is a really strong Pokemon, I think. But the fact that it doesn't have access to Expanding Force, like, is this for real? Like, you actually don't have access to Expanding Force. I thought that I was just... Wow. You know what? If you get access to Expanding Force... Yeah, you had access to Expanding Force in Pokemon Sword and Shield, but they removed that in Legends Arceus. Wow, I was not expecting that. Okay, so that could be a really, like, I think that's really bad. If you don't have access to Expanding Force, I think this Pokemon is E tier, right? It is not unrunnable, but it just becomes way worse. But if this Pokemon does have access to Expanding Force, I'm considering like a C or a B tier even. Right now, because in Legends ZA it does not have access to Expanding Force, I cannot give it a higher tier in my opinion. So yeah, E tier you go! So next up we have Mega Slowpoke. So Mega Slowpoke, I think that the people that play singles are just shaking already, but Mega Slowpoke is really good in my opinion, even in doubles, but it is a setup Pokemon. This Pokemon is rocking the shell armor, meaning that it cannot suffer any critical hit, which is really good because this Pokemon has a 180 base defense stat, 180 by the way, and is rocking a 130 special attack stat with 30 speed and 95 HP and 80 special defense. So this Pokemon has fantastic bulk. It is, in my opinion, it is going to be like another B tier Pokemon. And why is that? Well, it prevents itself from getting critical hit, so it means that you can just freely set up, both defensively and special defensively, with Calm Mind, Amnesia, or something like that. I think Calm Mind is really good because this Pokemon is a special attacker, and you are extremely slow. So this means that this Pokemon is actually really viable in Trick Room, right? And yeah, just a really bulky Pokemon that can just dominate, I think. You just use a Calm Mind set on this Pokemon. Use Calm Mind, Recover. You could use Scald and just end it there and use Protect as your final move, and I think that it would be really good still. You obviously you could use other sets, right? But I think that this is really good. You pair this Pokemon with Among Us and you are really good, in my opinion. Or you could even just rock a moveset of, for example, Scald, Calm Mind, Recover, and Trick Room. If you don't want to run Recover, you could just go Scald, Calm Mind, Trick Room, and Protect, which I think it's really viable as well. So I think this Pokemon really deserves the B tier. I think it's good. Now we are jumping. We are going to be talking about a fan favorite Pokemon, and that is Mega Gengar. Mega Gengar has the Shadow Tag ability and is actually pretty good. This Pokemon has a 170 base special attack stat with a 130 speed stat. Shadow Tag is really good because it can lock your opponents in place, right? You all know this Pokemon, and it was popularized by Wolf Click, right? In its famous Peristripe team. And although this Pokemon does not have access to other moves, other spread moves, like for example Mega Beedrill and Mega Alakazam, this Pokemon just has a way better ability in Shadow Tag, right? And you can just switch your Shadow Tag in at any point. You also have immunity to Fake Out, for example, and you hit really hard with good moves. I think that Ghost type moves and Poison type moves are good, right? But what makes this Pokemon just better than these guys is the fact that it has access to Shadow Tag. So I think I'm going to put this Pokemon in C tier at the moment, and I think it really deserves the C tier. I think C tier or B tier, I think they are both good. I think even B tier is just for this Pokemon. But like I said, I am going to be like reviewing all the rankings at the end. So yeah. So next up we have Mega Pinsir. I am a little bit biased about this Pokemon, so I am going to apologize right away. But this Pokemon is really fantastic in my opinion. It's not like an S tier Pokemon, but I still think it is really good. And why is that? Mega Pinsir gets the Flying type. When it Mega Evolves, it gains more weaknesses, right? So defensively, it is not a good Pokemon whatsoever, because it gets a lot of weaknesses. It gains a weakness to the Electric type moves. Sorry, it gets a weakness to Electric type moves, and it gets a further weakness to Rock type moves, meaning that now this Pokemon is 4 times weak to Rock, and it is also weak to Ice type moves. So this Pokemon is really good. So this Pokemon is really bad defensively wise, but offensively wise it is pretty good, and that is just because of that Flying type. This Pokemon gets the ability Aerialite, the same ability that Mega Salamence gets, where the power of normal type moves gets boosted by 30%, and then these moves are changed to Flying type, where they will be getting another boost from the stab multiplier, right? So you are getting a really strong moves from this Pokemon, Flying type moves. Like I said, with just Mega Pidgeot here, Flying type moves are completely amazing, and the fact that this Pokemon gets Aerialite is really good. In the previous generations, this Pokemon used Return, which was a move that would get really powerful. I think the max that it would get was 150 or 120. Just let me check. Yeah, so okay. So this Pokemon had access to a really powerful move, which was Return, a 102 base power move, normal type move that relied on this Pokemon's friendship with its trainer. It was then removed, but it was a 100 base power move that would get boosted by Aerialite by 30%, and then it would get a further boost by Stab, right, the Stab multiplier. So it was doing a lot of damage. It was even better at using Flying type moves than Mega Pidgeot, and Flying type moves are really good, like I said. This Pokemon had a lot of defense, which was good because most of his weaknesses, or his most important weakness, was a physical type weakness to Rock moves. His weakness was to Rock type, which is a type that is most commonly known for using physical type moves, right? So having a 120 base power, a 120 base defense is really important in my opinion. It also had access to a 155 base attack stat and a 1.5 speed stat. the 1.5 speed stat, although it is a little bit on the lower side, it made that this Pokemon was actually faster than a couple of the Pokemon that are already on this list, right? And the attack stat was completely amazing because this Pokemon could really just one-shot any Pokemon that was weak to flying type moves. I'm putting this Pokemon here on the C tier because I have to compare them with these two, right? So this Pokemon actually is just really good against Pokemon that want to use Follow Me or Rage Powder. That is due to the aerial ability. So that is something that we have to keep in mind when ranking this Pokemon, because it is good against Ogerpon, it is good against Volcarona, it is good against Amoonguss, right? So I think it's just a really reliable Pokemon that can just one-shot your opponents. You do have to play smart with it, I think. But yeah, really good Pokemon, in my opinion. I think it has a good chance to go to B tier, in my opinion. But yeah. So now we will be talking about a completely broken Pokemon, and that is Mega Kangaskhan. I am going to put Mega Kangaskhan already on the S tier because this Pokemon is absolutely fantastic. Kangaskhan by itself is not good, okay? So it is not a good Pokemon, but Mega Kangaskhan is really good because it gets an additional layer of bulk. It gets a 100 base defense and special defense. This is really good when it's base 105 HP stat, meaning that this Pokemon is quite bulky, right? But that's not it, because this Pokemon gets an increase in speed to 100, so borderline useful in terms of speed. But this Pokemon gets 30 points invested into its attack stat. And now its attack stat is of 125. This is like the borderline number that I consider to be good, right? But this Pokemon gets broken because of its ability being Parental Bond. With Parental Bond, every move used by the Pokemon will hit twice. The damage inflicted by the second hit is reduced by 50%. If the move used is a damaging move, each hit is capable of afflicting secondary effects and critical hits. Why is this important, you may ask? Well, this Pokemon gets access to Power Up Punch. Before all that, so Parental Bond basically is a way of this Pokemon to get rid of Focus Sash Pokemon in one hit, okay? Because the second hit is going to do damage, and the damage is not 1 HP damage, right? It is a 50% reduction to the damage that this Pokemon made, which with a 125 base attack stat is already going to be a lot, right? And then you get that added on. But this Pokemon also gets a really good move, and that is Power Up Punch. With Parental Bond, Power Up Punch is going to hit twice, okay? But it's also going to be applying its secondary effect twice. So, meaning that this move that actually gives a little bit of coverage against steel types resisting normal type moves, okay? It not only does give a little bit of coverage to Mega Kangaskhan, but it's going to give it a double boost to its attack stat, which is really worrisome because this Pokemon basically gets his attack stat doubled when it uses Power Up Punch, right? This Pokemon also had access to Return, just like Mega Pinsir, and it was already Stab with this Pokemon, but this Pokemon also gets access to Double Edge, which, although it does damage to itself, it is basically a one-shot tool, especially when you have that Power Up Punch prepared. So this Pokemon is bulky, can do a lot of damage. It also has Fake Out, so it can help its team, right? Especially these balanced teams. Yeah, I think this Pokemon is still really, really good. I'll put it in front of Charizard. Next up, we have Mega Gyarados. Mega Gyarados loses its flying typing and gets access to the dark typing. Dark typing is good, not the best, like I said. Offensively, it is good against psychic types, it is good against ghost types, and that is it. It doesn't do much, and this Pokemon really doesn't care about psychic types or ghost types, because it has stab water type moves that are really strong, right? But yeah, so Gyarados gets the Intimidate ability, which is really good, loses the Intimidate ability when it Mega Evolves, and it gains the Mold Breaker ability. With Mold Breaker, this Pokemon's moves are not affected by foes' abilities during battle, meaning that water type moves can now hit Pokemon with Storm Drain or Water Absorb, which is really good. Especially good because this Pokemon has a 155 base attack stat, which is absolutely phenomenal, and stab water type moves are going to be doing a lot of damage. This Pokemon is also pretty bulky with 109 defense and 130 special defense. This is really good. It has also 95 HP. This is also really good because this Pokemon has access to Intimidate before Mega Evolving. So this Pokemon's defense is actually a lot higher than 109 if you want to just calculate its bulk like that. It has a 81 speed stat. Once again, not a great speed stat, but I think that the amount of bulk, the access to Intimidate, its outrageous attack stat, I think they all give this Pokemon a lot of points. I'm going to put it in B tier. This Pokemon is weak against electric type moves, grass type moves, fighting type moves, bug and fairy, but I think that it still deserves the B tier. And yeah, we still have to find someone that is A tier. Like, come on guys, we have a little bit of a hole over there. Maybe Mega Aerodactyl is going to be there? Maybe? Nah, I'm going to spoil you, it is not going to be there. So, Mega Aerodactyl. Aerodactyl gets a Mega Evolution, it loses its usual ability and gains Tough Claws, an ability that it shares with Mega Charizard Y and another Pokemon that we will have to cover soon. Well, it has a 150 base speed and 135 attack stat. With Tough Claws, this Pokemon will be doing a lot of damage, and with its speed stat, this Pokemon is just going to be faster than a lot of Pokemon in the game, right? Rock type moves are really good. Rock type moves are really important because they do super effective damage against a lot of Pokemon, and the flying typing covers for things that rock type Pokemon don't like for example grass type Pokemon or fighting type Pokemon, right? So that is really good. But this Pokemon is really frail. It has 80 base HP, 85 defense and 95 special defense. Although it is not the worst for a Mega Evolution, it is a little bit tough, but in my opinion is still better than Mega Charizard X, just because this Pokemon has a clear purpose: to be fast and to be strong, right? It has access to Tough Claws, it has a 135 attack stat, which is 5 points higher than Mega Charizard X, but then it also has access to a 150 base speed stat, meaning that this Pokemon is actually the fastest Pokemon that we have in this list, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's faster than Mega Alakazam, or it shares its speed stat. So yeah, I think it's pretty good. Flying type moves and rock type moves are not the most reliable though. Both of them don't have good accuracies, right? Rock Slide, for example, is a 90 base attack move. Accuracy wise, right? Flying type moves are not that good as well. I'm talking about the only good flying type move that you have is perhaps dual wing beat, that this Pokemon does not have access to. Ooh, do you not have access to this? So this Pokemon might actually struggle It is definitely like a C or a D tier, but it's better than Mega Charizard. Mega Charizard X, in my opinion. He's just better than him. Yeah, I think that D tier is deserved just because Stone Edge can miss, Rock Slide can miss. It has access to Wing Attack, but Wing Attack is only a 60 base power move, which is not that great, right? And yeah, Dual Wing Beat can also miss. It's not good. This Pokemon did gain access to Sky Attack. This Pokemon did gain access to Sky Attack in Legend ZA once more, which was the move that made this Pokemon completely broken, but we do not know if it is still going to be having Sky Attack when Champions drops, so I'm just going to put it in D tier. So next up we have Mega Mewtwo X and Mega Mewtwo Y. Mega Mewtwo X is actually good. It's not the best version of the Mega Mewtwo forms, but it's definitely good. It has a 190 attack stat, right? It has a 130 speed stat as well, which is kinda nuts in my opinion. It is kinda nuts. It is also rocking a really fantastic special attack stat in 154 and has good overall bulk in 106 HP, 100 defense and 100 special defense. Having the fighting type added to this Pokemon actually protects it from dark type moves, so I mean it's good, it's good. And a cool thing here is that this Pokemon gains the ability Steadfast. If it gets flinched, this Pokemon speed is actually going to raise by 1 stage, meaning that yeah, you can definitely fake out this Pokemon, but it's going to get a little bit costly, right? A little bit costly. I think that Mega Mewtwo X is pretty good, just because of the coverage that it has. It has access to good fighting type moves, right? Like a Drain Punch, for example, but it still has access to good psychic type moves, like Psycho Cut, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, I think it has access to Psycho Cut, and with a 194 special attack set, this Pokemon is just going to be doing a lot of damage. I think it's an okay Pokemon. I think it's an okay Pokemon. If you have the possibility of using a legendary Pokemon, right? Yeah, I think the Mega Mewtwo X is kind of good. I think it's solid, you know. I think it's kind of solid. But then we have Mega Mewtwo. But then we have Mega Mewtwo Y. This one is also fantastic. I'm not going to say less. I think it's I think both Mewtwo forms are A tier. Yeah, I think they are. I don't put him in S tier just because they both get your restricted slot and your mega slot in a team, meaning that you are putting all your eggs onto this basket, right? And that I don't like. But other than that, I think it's good. Mega Mewtwo Y has a 194 special attack stat with 150 attack and 140 speed, so it's faster than its counterpart, but is weaker on the bulk side, where it has a 70 base defense and 120 special defense, so it loses a little bit of defense. Like I said with which Pokemon was it? I said with one Pokemon that having a lower defense stat was actually not bad, because of the Intimidate ability that is going to be running around. So yeah, Mega Mewtwo is just going to be rocking on the A tier. I think it's a pretty solid Pokemon. So next up we have one of my favorite Pokemon, and that favorite Mega Pokemon, and that is Mega Ampharos. So Mega Ampharos is actually pretty goated. So why is this Pokemon goated? It has a good typing of Electric and Dragon, meaning that this Pokemon only has weaknesses to a lot of things, but it only has weakness to Ground, Ice, and Fairy, which are 3 weaknesses, but I think they're acceptable, right? Especially because this Pokemon is rocking the Mold Breaker ability that we've talked about with Mega Gyarados, and this Pokemon is actually optimized to be used in a specific mode. This Pokemon has a 45 base speed stat, so this Pokemon is clearly a Trick Room Pokemon, right? It has a lot of bulk, 90 HP, 105 defense, and 110 special defense. So this Pokemon is bulky, right? And it has a 165 special attack stat. This is absolutely fantastic because you can just freely hit Pokemon with your moves. Due to the Mold Breaker ability, you don't have to be scared of, let's say, what's that ability, Lightning Rod and stuff like that, right? You don't have to be worried about that. And you have access to really strong special attack moves that are also stab for you, like for example Thunderbolt and Dragon Pulse. You also have access to... Oh, you don't have access to Draco? Yo, drop a Draco. Can you not drop a Draco? You cannot drop a Draco. But either way, you have access to Dragon Pulse, which is still a really good stab move. The fact that you are clearly a Trick Room Pokemon also really benefits you, I think. So I think that Mega Ampharos, although it is not a top tier dog, I do think that it is a quite solid Pokemon, so I'm going to put it in the B tier. I think it's pretty good. Before Mega Evolving, it is not, I'm so sorry. And now we have Mega Steelix here. So, Mega Steelix, I think it's a good Pokemon. I think it's a good Pokemon. It is a Ground and Steel type, so I think that typing is okay-ish. I think this Pokemon actually has a little bit of... I think that this Pokemon has... Yeah. I think that this Pokemon actually has a lot of weaknesses. They are 4 weaknesses, right? So it is a little bit by itself, right? But then it's the type of weaknesses that this Pokemon has. This Pokemon is weak to fire, water, fighting, and ground type damage. And yeah, these 4 typings are extremely common. Extremely common. So it is a little bit complicated, I would say. But this Pokemon actually compensates that with its really good bulk. This Pokemon has a 75 HP stat with 230 to its defense and 95 special defense. So this Pokemon is for sure bulky. Okay, so that is good. That is good. So although it has really important weaknesses and glaring weaknesses, this Pokemon actually is bulky enough to tank them. Okay, so that is good. This Pokemon has a 30 base speed stat, so it's clearly a Trick Room Pokemon, which is also kinda nice. The fact that this Pokemon is extremely heavy is also really good, because this Pokemon has access to Heavy Slam, a move that it has gained a lot of popularity because it is extremely good against Fairy-type Pokemon, and Fairy-type Pokemon are usually not that heavy, meaning that you have a way to just deal a bunch of damage to Fairy-type Pokemon that are really prevalent in the meta, like for example Fluttermane. You have also Mega Gardevoir, which is another Fairy-type Pokemon, and Mega Altaria, which actually don't really like going against Mega Steelix, right? You can invest a lot in your special defense stat. You don't need to invest in your defense, really. so you can make this Pokemon extremely bulky and just deal consistent damage, in my opinion. So yeah, I think that's really good. This Pokemon also has access to Iron Defense. You can further boost your defense stat, but from what I know, this Pokemon actually does not have access to Body Press, so it doesn't really compensate to boost your defense like that, right? But you do have access to ground type moves, which, by the way, get boosted by Sand Force. Not only ground type moves, but also the steel moves that I was talking about, they all get boosted in Sandstorm, meaning that even though this Pokemon has a borderline good attack stat of 125, this Pokemon's moves in a Sandstorm scenario, keep that in mind, in a Sandstorm scenario, are going to get boosted by 33%, meaning that this Pokemon is effectively 33% stronger in the Sandstorm. So I think it's good. You put Heavy Slam on this Pokemon, you can put, I don't know if it learns Stomping Tantrum, but I presume it does. So you can also put that on this Pokemon. It does not learn Stomping Tantrum. I'm sorry, I baited you. But you can put Earthquake on it. So it does help a little bit. And yeah, is this Pokemon good? I don't think it's the best. Its design is definitely top tier, but I think it is a C tier Pokemon. It has a lot of weaknesses, which it can definitely take, right? But take the damage from it. But I don't think it can just deal consistently good damage into most matchups. Like, for example, these top dogs can. Okay, that's the only problem that I see with Mega Steelix. Then, following up, we have Mega Scizor. Mega Scizor is really good. It's a really good Pokemon. It has access to Technician, an ability that it maintains, right, from its non-Mega Evolved form, meaning that moves with a base power of 60 or less are boosted by 50%. This is really important, because this Pokemon is a Steel type and gets access to Bullet Punch. Absolutely fantastic, in my opinion. But the thing that I don't like about this Pokemon is the fact that it only gets 20 more base attack stats from Mega Evolving, although it gets a lot more bulky. This Pokemon's role is just to attack, and attack. In my opinion, probably the best way to use it is just to spam Bullet Punch into everything and put it on KO range for another Pokemon. But I mean, wasting your Mega Evolution just for that? I really don't know. If you use Scizor on a running team, it probably can be a C tier, but right now I'm not feeling it. I'm really not feeling it. And the thing is that even though you have a 140 defense stat, you are 4 times weak against fire, and fire is a typing that has a lot of good special attackers. For example, Mega Charizard Y, right? So Mega Scizor is kind of vulnerable. I'm going to put it in the D tier, I think. No, not D tier, C tier. I'm going to put it in C tier. I think it's a waste to use your Mega Evolution on this Pokemon, though, to be completely honest. So now we have Mega Heracross. Mega Heracross, I'm going to say it right away. I think it's a A tier Pokemon. And why is it a A tier Pokemon? So this Pokemon before Mega Evolving is not that good, actually. It has a lot of attack, but it's not that good. When it Mega Evolves, this Pokemon actually gets slower, so it has 75 base speed, so it's not, once again, not a Tailwind Pokemon, but it's not also a Trick Room Pokemon, although it can run on both of those formats. You just have to EV it so that it can do that, right? But this Pokemon really shines in the fact that he has a 185 base attack stat, okay? This is really important because this Pokemon also has a lot of bulk, it has 80 HP, 115 defense and 105 special defense, and this really helps this Pokemon to just stay on the field and dish out good damage, okay? It has a 4 times weakness to flying type moves, which is a little bit troublesome. It is also weak to fire and psychic type moves as well as fairy type moves, but I mean, it is not the worst. I think the weakness to flying is aggravating, especially when you have Mega Pinsir running around, which is not going to be that useful. And you have Mega Pidgeot, which is not a Pokemon that you're going to be seeing a lot, but you have to deal with Mega Charizard Y, you have to deal with, for example, Mega Salamence, which gets Aerodactyl. So, I mean, it's kind of rough. It's kind of rough for this Mega Heracross in that sense, but it does get the ability Skill Link, so moves that hit 2 to 5 times always hit 5 times, meaning that this Pokemon is absolutely excellent in breaking focus sashes and diminishing the offensive pressure that your opponent has. This Pokemon also gets access to Rock Blast, which is really good against flying type Pokemon, right, if you hit them, because it has 90% accuracy. But it is still really good, and you have also access to Pin Missile, which is a really good, just consistent damage move, right? It is 95% accuracy, which is also a little bit unfortunate, right? I would love it to see have its accuracy increased to 100, and that Skill Link basically makes these moves a 125 base power move that can break focus sashes, which is really good. But then you also have access to Close Combat and Mega Horn, which with this huge attack set, it makes this Pokemon just unbelievably good. I think it is deserving of an A tier, but you have to just play around this Pokemon really well. And I think it's a good Pokemon. I really think. Now, my favorite Mega Evolution. We are now talking about Mega Houndoom. So Mega Houndoom, it is still a Fire and Dark type, which is a really good typing in my opinion. You can see that from Incineroar. This Pokemon only has weaknesses to Water, Fighting, Ground and Frog types, which are only 4 weaknesses, but they are really common weaknesses. So it is a little bit annoying in that sense. But this Pokemon actually gets to shine a bit, and that is due to its pretty good special attack stat of 140 and 115 speed, meaning that it is faster than a lot of the Pokemon that we already have on this list, okay? Its bulk is not phenomenal, but it has a 75 HP stat and 90 to both defenses, but this Pokemon really shines on Sun teams with Solar Power. Solar Power, during Sunshine, this Pokemon's special attack raises 1.5 times, but HP decreases by 1/8 the maximum HP every turn. So it's basically like this Pokemon having a built-in life orb. A life orb that does 2.5% more damage. But it is good. I think in the Sun this Pokemon is actually good. It has access to Heat Wave, which is a really good spread type move. The dark typing is not that great in my opinion, but I think this Pokemon has room to shine. I'm going to put it in the top of C tier, mostly because I'm really biased about this Pokemon. Mostly because of that. Now we go on to Mega Tyranitar. So Mega Tyranitar is a really fascinating Pokemon. Tyranitar by itself is really good, mostly because of the Sandstorm ability, meaning that you can just control the weather. But not only that, Sandstorm also gives Tyranitar or Rock type Pokemon a 50% boost to their special defense, which is really important to protect themselves from water type moves, grass type moves, ground and fairy. But this Pokemon is also weak to move to typings that are mostly physical, like Steel and Bug and Fighting. So this Pokemon has a lot of weaknesses, but it is really good still. Although it has so many weaknesses, this Pokemon is really good because of its ability, Sandstream, of course, and because it has phenomenal stats. It was a pseudo Pokemon, a pseudo legendary Pokemon, and it gets just way more powerful with the Mega Evolution. So it has really good stat with 100 HP, 150 defense and 120 special defense, but it also has a really impressive attack stat of 164. This Pokemon's speed is 71, but in this case Mega Tyranidar's speed doesn't really matter that much, because I think this Pokemon is more of a setup Pokemon for Sand Rush Pokemon, like for example Excadrill. And because this Pokemon has such a good defense and special defense stat, the Pokemon actually can endure attacks quite well and dish good damage back with this 164 base attack stat, right? So yeah, I think it's a good Pokemon. A lot of weaknesses, so you do have to be aware of that, right, and play accordingly. But this Pokemon is actually quite good. And it's really important in Sandstorm teams. Sandstorm teams, in my opinion, are extremely strong. I'm going to put this Pokemon in A tier, although it is so weak. Now, by itself, it is in A tier, right? But I think it suffers the same as Mega Scizor. Where do you really want to Mega this Pokemon? You could just Mega a Pokemon that works well with this Pokemon, right? For example, Mega Excadrill is now in the game, right? So why not save the Mega to that Pokemon, for example? I think it would be better, especially if that Pokemon gets access to Sandrush still, right? I think that, for example, on a Sandstorm team, I really want to use Mega Metagross, so I think that I just want that Mega over this one, but I think that I also have to put Mega Tyranitar here, just because even if it Megas, is still better than Mega Scizor, in my opinion. You can reset the weather, which is really important, right? You do get a lot of defense from your Mega, so I think it's okay, and you have a really good matchup against the top dogs, right? So I think it really deserves the A tier. So now we have the Mega Steelix, we have the Mega Sceptile. To be honest, Mega Sceptile is not good. I do not think it is that good. When it came out, it wasn't good already, and now it's a little bit better. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about its ability. It gets Lightning Rod, meaning that electric type moves are drawn to this Pokemon. Electric type moves will deal no damage, and this Pokemon's special attack stat is going to be raised by 1 stage. So, and this is really good because you basically can protect your team from electric type moves. When this Pokemon came out, it was not good, right? I do not think it was good, especially because we did not have good electric type Pokemon running around, right? But we also, we didn't have a Pokemon that we particularly wanted to protect from electric type moves, right? But that's not the case right now. In this new generation, we have good electric type Pokemon on Miraidon and Raging Bolt, both electric and dragon type Pokemon, and the ability Lightning Rod is going to just protect a lot of Pokemon from their powerful electric type moves, like for example Thunderclap. Thunderclap is really important, and Raging Bolt was basically a Pokemon that was designed to just counter a really strong archetype, which was Tornadus and Urshifu. So, in my opinion, Mega Sceptile is really good if it is on a team with Tornadus and Urshifu, as it can protect those Pokemon from electric type moves, especially the Thunderclap from the Raging Bolt. Okay, so I think that is really good. And you might be asking, well, but Raging Bolt can just KO Mega Sceptile with a Dragon Pulse or a Draco Meteor, so it doesn't really matter. And that is true, but the true power of Pokemon sometimes comes in with their abilities. Just because these Pokemon can get one shot by Dragon Pulse, it doesn't mean that the Lightning Rod is going to be less useful, because you can have Mega Sceptile on the field, you can protect Mega Sceptile, and now you get a turn of immunity to field immunity to electric type moves, right? So Urshifu can just, for example, close combat the Raging Bolt, or Surging Strikes the Raging Bolt if the Raging Bolt terastallizes, right? So that is going to be really good, but then in the following turn you still have the same problem, because Mega Sceptile is still going to be on the field, granting your team immunity to electric type moves once again, so you get a lot of free space with Mega Sceptile. So it's really important. I think it's a Pokemon that can give a lot of space to Tornadus and Urshifu, and right now I'm actually going to put this Pokemon in B tier. I think it's good, man. I think it's good. Now we have to talk about the big boy, Mega Swampert. I'm going to talk about Mega Blaziken in a second. Just give me a moment. So Mega Swampert is really good. This Pokemon is still maintaining its water and ground typing, meaning that it does have that weakness, that 4x weakness to grass, which is really annoying, but that's basically the only weakness that it has, right? I think that water and ground is really good, and it is really good on this Pokemon, because this Pokemon has really good stab, water type moves and ground type moves. Okay, it has access to Earthquake, it has access to Stomping Tantrum, it has access to Earthquake, to Waterfall, Liquidation, and not only that, this Pokemon also has access to Swift Swim, meaning that this Pokemon speed is going to get doubled when in rain. So that is good. And that is actually really good, because this Pokemon has a 150 base attack stat and a 70 base speed that is going to get doubled to 140 in the rain, and that is really good. This Pokemon is actually really annoying to get rid of, because it also has a lot of bulk in HP. It has 100 base stat line in there, and both of his defense are 110, which is really good. I think Mega Swampert is a top dog. Oh, but what about Rillaboom's Grassy Glide? Okay, I don't want to 1v1 Rillaboom with Mega Swampert, right? But I can remove Rillaboom's terrain. Okay, and Mega Swampert gets access to Ice Punch. That's one thing, and also, yeah, I can just remove Rillaboom's terrain, or I can just switch Swampert out for a Pokemon that is good against Rillaboom, right? I mean, I can see the point, and in a 1v1, Mega Swampert always loses. I mean, yeah, of course. But I think it's still a fantastic Pokemon, right? Still a fantastic Pokemon. Then, moving on, we have Mega Blaziken. Mega Blaziken is a phenomenal Pokemon. I'm just going to put it already in the A tier, because this Pokemon, when it Mega Evolves, it still gets its Speed Boost ability, meaning that, for example, you can bring Blaziken in, protect, get a Speed Boost, Mega Evolve, you are still going to Mega Evolved, you are still going to get your Speed Boost, meaning that your speed will increase at the end of the turn, right? Although this Pokemon has a 100 base speed stat, that does not matter, because that does not matter. You have a Speed Boost ability, so yeah. and this Pokemon deals a lot of damage. It has a 160 base attack stat and 130 special attack stat, so this Pokemon is going to be hitting really hard on both hands, right? It has access to Flamethrower, but it has access to Flare Blitz and Close Combat, so I think you should use this Pokemon as a physical attacker. And like I said, Close Combat and Flare Blitz are going to be really good on this Pokemon. You also have access to priority moves on Quick Attack, so I think it's a good Pokemon. I think that the Mega Blaziken with a fire fighting typing is really good. It is also a good answer to some of the Pokemon that we can see here. For example, it is good against Mega Tyranitar, Mega Heracross, Mega Kangaskhan. It is also good against, for example, even against Mega Pidgeot. It is good against Mega Gengar. It is good against both of these Pokemon, and that is just because it is also good against the majority of these Pokemon. Fire typing and the fighting typing are really good, and the fact that you cannot basically get outsped, it's just too good, man. It's just too good, right? It's fascinating. Then we have Mega Gardevoir. I'm going to rank Mega Gardevoir an A tier or even S tier. Fairy type Pokemon are really good. We all know that. We all seen Fluttermane, right? But I think that Mega Gardevoir is even better. You could obviously use a Fluttermane instead of the Mega Gardevoir, and that is completely fine. But if you really want a good fairy type on your team and you don't have a Mega that you particularly want to use, I think that Mega Gardevoir is always going to be the answer, just because this Pokemon is really strong and really bulky. This Pokemon has a good base 135 special defense set, which is really good. Although it has low defense and HP, 68 HP and 65 defense, you can really invest a bit of EVs onto those stats. And the special attack stat is of 165. This does matter because Mega Gardevoir has the Pixelate ability, meaning that it will increase the power of normal type moves by 30% and then change those to fairy types. So meaning that Hyper Voice is going to be doing a lot of damage coming from a Pokemon with 165 attack stat. Then the Hyper Voice, which is a 100 base power move or 90 base power move, is going to get boosted by Pixelate, and it's going to get Stab on it. It's just fantastic, and this Pokemon is actually really bulky, so I think it's really good. Then we have Mega Sableye. Mega Sableye is not amazing. I am sorry to tell you guys, it is not. This Pokemon, when it Mega Evolves, it loses the Prankster ability. I think it's even an F tier. It loses the Prankster ability, and that's the whole reason why you want to use Mega Sableye. Although it is pretty bulky with 125 defense and special defense, and it has low speed, meaning that it's good on Trick Room, this Pokemon actually can't do any damage. You do have access to Nightshade, but Nightshade only does 50 damage. In competitive, so it's not that great, okay? It has the Magic Bounce ability, which reflects non-attacking moves used on the Pokemon back to the opponent. I think this Pokemon is good in singles. It is not good in VGC, unfortunately. But you can prove me wrong on that point, and I would really like that. Next up, we have Mega Mawile. Mega Mawile is a fantastic Pokemon. It got buffed in Legends EA. I don't know if the buff is going to last, but this Pokemon is a Steel and Fairy type Pokemon. That is the absolute best typing in the entire game. It also has access to huge power, which is going to double this Pokemon's attack stats. Before Legends EA, this Pokemon had a 105 attack stat. In Legends EA, it has 140. Let's see if that maintains or not. Probably not. Probably it's going to get reduced to 105, but it is still really good because it's going to get doubled to 210 base stats, base attack stat, right? It is also a really bulky Pokemon with 125 defense. It has 95 special defense. 50 HP is not good, but it is not awful. I mean, it is pretty bad. It is pretty bad. But the amazing typing and the good defenses do how do I want to say this? Do protect that Pokemon, okay? Do protect that Pokemon. And then it has a 50 base speed, meaning that is really good in Trick Room. This Pokemon also has access to Sucker Punch. It has access to Swords Dance, so this Pokemon is a real demon, in my opinion. Next up, we have Mega Aggron, a pure Steel type with the Ability Filter. Ability Filter is going to reduce the damage of super effective hits by 25%, meaning that this Pokemon is going to be impossible to remove off the field. There's not much that I can say about this Pokemon. It has a 140 attack stat, 230 defense, just like Mega Steelix, although the special defense is really low on the 80s, and paired with its low HP stat of 70, this Pokemon is still really good. And that is mainly because it is a clear Trick Room Pokemon with a 15 base speed stat. Right, this Pokemon is really defensive. It is really good. Steel typing is really good. It has access to Heavy Slam and Iron Head. Right, I don't know if it has access to Body Press. I'm just going to be checking that real quick, because if it does have access to Body Press, this Pokemon is actually kind of broken, because it has also access to oh, it doesn't have access to Body Press. Okay, so that's nice. For now it doesn't have access to Body Press, meaning that it gets walled by other Steel type Pokemon, which is not the best, but this Pokemon is still pretty good. I'm going to put it in C tier. I'm going to put it in C tier. I think that it's going to be high C tier, in my opinion. I don't think it just does as good as these guys, in my opinion. Then we have Mega Medicham. Mega Medicham also has access to huge power, just like Mega Mawile, and that is really good. Mega Medicham has a really good offensive typing of Fighting and Psychic. That Fighting type is really phenomenal. I made a mistake, it's not huge power, it's pure power, but it does have the same effect. This Pokemon has a 100 base stat, attack stat, which is lower than Mega Mawile, but I don't think that's bad, just because this Pokemon has access to Fighting type moves, which is really important. Fighting type, like I said previously, Fighting types are really good in this meta. It is also faster than Mega Mawile. It has a 100 base speed stat, meaning that it can just outspeed a couple of Megas, which is really good. And it can be more reliably used on Tail Room teams as well. It has access to Close Combat, which is a phenomenal Fighting type move. I'm going to put this Pokemon in B tier. Why is Mega Mawile ahead of Mega Medicham? Although Mega Medicham can actually share some properties with Mega Mawile, it's just because Mega Mawile it is more bulky, it is good on Trick Room, and it has Swords Dance and Sucker Punch, which is really important. Mega Medicham does have access to Quick Guard and Fake Out, which is good, but do you really want to waste your Mega on a Pokemon that can only press Close Combat? Close Combat and Fake Out? I don't know. That's a good question. But it is good. It does hit a lot of Pokemon for super effective damage. Like I said, Fighting types are really good. You could argue A tier, but I don't think it is. A tier. Next up, we have Mega Manectric. Mega Manectric is a really good special attacking Pokemon, pure electric, with the ability Intimidate. We all know what Intimidate does and how good Intimidate is. It's also going to make this Pokemon a little bit more bulky, and it definitely needs, because it has a 70 base HP, 80 defense and 80 special defense, and it's rocking 135 into both his special attack and speed, which is really good. Electric type moves are pretty nice. This Pokemon also has access to Flamethrower, so it does not get walled it does not get walled by grass type Pokemon, for example, which is really nice, right? It can also dish a little bit of damage with overheat to ground type Pokemon, which is good. Is this Pokemon that nice? I don't think it is. Just because it cannot hit reliably a lot of Pokemon, right? With electric type moves, I think. You have access to not much. I was trying to think of an exception, but I don't see. If you have access to like ice type moves, you do have access to Ice Fang, but if you have access to like Ice Beam, you'd be like a really top Mega. But you don't have, so yeah, you are not that good. Then we have Mega Sharpedo, another Water Dark type Pokemon, and this Pokemon also has access to Speed Boost. The difference between Mega Sharpedo and Mega Blaziken is that Mega Sharpedo is really frail. It actually loses its Speed Boost when it Mega Evolves, meaning that when Mega Blaziken can just keep stacking the Speed Boost even in its Mega Evolve form, Sharpedo loses that when it Mega Evolves. It gains a strong jaw, meaning that increases the power of biting moves by 50%. This is really good, especially with moves like Crunch. I think it also has access to some weird water type biting move. Or am I tripping? Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe that was just something that I dreamed of. And if it was, yeah, it's not that good. You cannot stack the speed boosts. You cannot do much, in my opinion, with this Pokemon. It's really frail as well. 105 speed with the speed boost is good, but like I said, you lose it when you Mega Evolve. So overall, this Mega Evolution is not good, in my opinion. Next up, we have Mega Camerupt. I'm just going to be like really clear with you guys. Mega Camerupt is good. I think it's good. It gets Sheer Force, which is a really important thing, because it's going to boost the damage of moves such as Flamethrower, Earth Power, both are stab. Yeah, the same goes for Heat Wave, for example. And I do think that this Pokemon has access to Eruption. It does have access to Eruption, so it is a really good, reliable Trick Room Pokemon, in my opinion, especially because it has a 20 base speed. I think that this Pokemon is actually a B tier Pokemon. It has a good amount of room to grow, I think, in this competitive meta, especially when Trick Room is actually so good. Right, it is a Pokemon that has a little bit of bulk, 70 HP, which is not that good, but it has 100 defense and 105 special defense, which is good. It's also rocking 145 special attack stat, and that paired with this 20 base speed, I mean, makes this Pokemon really good, in my opinion, and the access to Eruption. Like I said, it's a really good and clear user of Trick Room that I really like. Then we have the Mega Altaria here. Mega Altaria is one of my favorite Pokemon. Sorry, but it is true. It has the Pixelate ability, just like Mega Gardevoir there. This Pokemon is not as good as Mega Gardevoir, just because it is not as strong, right? Mega Gardevoir had a 165 special attack set. This Mega Altaria has 110 attack and 110 special attack. It is a lot bulkier than Mega Gardevoir, but the damage output is certainly lacking. But it has good, a good typing of Dragon and Fairy, which I think it's good. It also has access to Pixelate Hyper Voice, which is still good, but I don't think it is a phenomenal Pokemon. It's just good. Next up, we have Mega Banette. Mega Banette is actually nice. It's not great, but it is a nice Pokemon. It gains the ability Prankster, meaning that status category moves have their speed tier increased by 1, meaning that they are now priority moves, right? It has a 165 base attack stat, which is good, especially when paired with Shadow Sneak priority move that this Pokemon has access to, but it is really weak to Sucker Punch, especially because this Pokemon is not fast at all. It has a 75 speed stat, meaning that most Pokemon with access to Sucker Punch are just going to press Sucker Punch whenever this Pokemon wants to attack. The fact that this Pokemon gains Prankster instead of an offensive ability just makes this Pokemon really weak as well. Sorry, I really like the Mega, it's one of my favorite Megas, but just really, I don't know, because this Pokemon's ability wants this Pokemon to be a supportive pick, and it does have a lot of moves that are supportive, good moves, right? But then you don't have the bulk to be a supportive Pokemon, and then you have a 165 attack stat that is being wasted on a supportive Pokemon, and it's also a Mega Evolved Pokemon. Ooh, it's rough, I think. Then next up we have Mega Absol, a Pokemon that completely walls Mega Banette. It's a Dark type, first of all, so Prankster moves don't work. Then it also has Magic Bounce, so they double don't work. And then it's a Dark type, meaning that it can just do super effective damage to Sableye and take half the damage that it was supposed to, right? Magic Pulse is actually quite good because this Pokemon cannot get Will-O-Wisp, for example, or Thunder Wave, and that is really important because this Pokemon is a really good offensive pick with 150 attack stat and 115 speed, and this Pokemon just wants to attack freely, and that is quite good because it will avoid with Magic Pulse, it will avoid, like I said, Thunder Waves, Will-O-Wisps, Spores, so this means that this Pokemon can just freely attack. Dark type moves are not that great in my opinion, don't hit a lot of Pokemon for super effective damage, but I think that this Pokemon overall is not bad. It does really good damage with its 150 attack stat, right? Not phenomenal, but it is nice. Then we have the top dogs here. I'm just going to put them right up on the S tier, both Mega Salamence and Mega Metagross. So Mega Salamence is really good because it gets access to the ability Intimidate in its pre-evolved form, which is really good, right? Intimidate is really good. But then you can Mega Evolve and this Pokemon gets Aerialate, the same ability that Mega Pinsir gets access, but Mega Salamence can actually make a good use of that ability because it has really good attack stat in 145 and good special attack in 120. This means that this Pokemon is basically the perfect mixed attacker because it has access to really good normal type moves. In Double Edge, it used to get Return, it doesn't get now, or the move doesn't exist now, but it also has access to Hyper Voice, which is a spread type move, really good, right? Even if you don't invest a lot into its special attack stat, Hyper Voice is still going to be doing a lot of damage. It's a spread type move that gets boosted by 30%, and then it gets a step on its flying type, so it's really good. This Pokemon has a 120 base speed, so it's really fast as well, and it's just a pseudo-legendary Pokemon that got a Mega Evolution, right? The Mega Evolution was well done. It is also a bulky Pokemon with 95 HP, 130 defense, and 90 special defense. That defense stat is even more impressive with the Intimidate ability that it has previously to Mega Evolving. So it is a really good Pokemon, right? So yeah, and then we have Mega Metagross is actually like a top dog. I think it's like this. The Steel typing is absolutely fantastic. But this Pokemon's Mega Evolution is completely absurd. Steel typings are already really good defensively, but then this Pokemon has a 150 base defense and 110 special defense, which is absolutely absurd. All this while having a good speed stat of 110 and 145 physical attack stat. That is absolutely fantastic. It's even more worrisome because this Pokemon gets access to Tough Claws, just like a Mega Aerodactyl, but this Pokemon is even better because it gets access to Bullet Punch. So in a good scenario, you don't even have to invest anything into this Pokemon's speed, and you can just invest the EVs that you would invest in speed to invest in its defensive bulk. And that is just because this Pokemon just wants to press Bullet Punch, and Bullet Punch will do massive amounts of damage to every single thing that's on the field. Obviously, it gets walled by Fire type Pokemon, but I mean, you have other Pokemon in your team to help you deal with Fire type Pokemon. That is my opinion. And then Metagross before Mega Evolving actually gets Clear Body. So it actually doesn't get affected by Intimidate, for example, which is really good. So you can get an unintimidated Metagross on the field turn 1, which is going to be doing a lot of damage, in my opinion. It's a really fantastic Pokemon that has good answers into literally almost everything here. Like, it just doesn't have good answers into fighting, into fire types. Because against the rest of the Pokemon, either those Pokemon cannot do a lot of damage to Mega Metagross due to its Steel typing, or Mega Metagross can just freely press Bullet Punch on them and just KO them. A good wall to Mega Metagross is, for example, Mega Slowpoke, I would say. But yeah, that's it. In my opinion, that's really it. Mega Houndoom is also good against Mega Metagross. Metagross cannot do anything to it. So we also have another Mega Pokemon, those being the Mega Abomasnow, a Pokemon that I really love. And this Mega Abomasnow is still a Grass and Ice type, meaning that once again it is weak to fighting type moves. It is also 4 times weak to fire, sorry. So it is not that great. And the problem with this Pokemon is the fact that it is a mixed attacker. Although it is a weather setter with its ability Snow Warning, this Pokemon is like forced into dividing its offensive prowess between attack and special attack, which is not that great, right? But the good thing here is that this Pokemon is actually really bulky, with 90 HP, 105 to both its defense and special defense, and it is a clear Trick Room Pokemon. Ice typing is also really good offensively, right? So that is something that you can consider as well. So this Pokemon is not great, but it is definitely, in my opinion, do I put it at B tier? I'm a little bit biased, so I think I'm just going to put it at B tier. But if this Pokemon is at B tier, I think it's fine. I think it's fine to be a B tier, like B tier or top of C. Maybe top of C tier, I think it's a good Pokemon. Then we have Mega Latios and Mega Latias. They are both good. I don't have much to say. They are restricted. They're not restricted Pokemon, but they are legendary Pokemon, nevertheless. So they still have the Levitate ability with the Dragon and Psychic typing. Mega Latias is just a way more defensive version, right? It has a lot of bulk, or it has 80 HP, 120 defense and 1 150 special defense, and it's rocking a 140 special attack stat and 110 speed. The thing here with Mega Latias and Mega Latios is that they face the same issue as Mega Scizor of you do get a lot of stats by Mega Evolving, right? You do get 100 base stats, but if you want an offensive Mega Latios or Mega Latias, you can just, you know, use Soul Dew, right? And that is just the biggest issue. And Mega Latias is really bulky, and I don't know if it is good. Mega Latias is a little bit better just because it's way more offensive, right? It has 160 special attack and 110 speed. This makes it a little bit better as a Mega Pokemon. You want your Mega Pokemon to actually just be able to do something on the field and not just sit there. So, I mean, the 160 special attacks that does help. Mega Latias kind of holds its own as well, but it's not that impressive. I think that Latias is not that impressive as Latios, just because Mega Latias is just way more defensive. But at the end of the day, I would pair them in the same tier. I think that they are both C tier. Are they C tier? Yeah, I don't really feel comfortable with putting this Pokemon like really high up, right? I really don't. And this Pokemon can actually get bullied by this Pokemon here as well. So not by Mega Pinsir, but by the rest of the cast that it is here. So rough. It's a little bit rough. I have Mega Gallade here. Am I missing any of the older Megas? I don't think I am. I'm missing Mega Gallade, obviously, and we are going to be talking about it now. I think Mega Gallade is really good. It has access to inner focus, meaning that this Pokemon cannot get flinched and cannot get intimidated. And this is really relevant because Mega Gallade has a 165 base attack stat, and this Pokemon is going to be great in countering the balance cores, because Incineroar cannot touch this Pokemon. This Pokemon is going to one-shot Incine with a close combat. This Pokemon is actually quite bulky with 115 special defense and 95 defense. Its HP is a little bit lower on the with 68, but this Pokemon is also running with a 110 speed stat, which is good in my opinion. That is definitely good. It is a little bit higher than the mean average, I would say. Having access to Psycho Cut, close combat, and you get access to any other like relevant stuff? I don't think you do. I think those are its best options. You have access to Sword Dance, so that's always something to consider as well. Does have access to Leaf Blade, but I don't think that's really that relevant. In my opinion, Knockoff is also a really good option. By this Pokemon, Shadow Claw for coverage is also good. I think this Pokemon is actually pretty nice. And so where are you? Oh, you're here. So I think Mega Gallade is actually a A-tier Pokemon, especially due to the boost of its ability Inner Focus, preventing flinches, and Intimidate attack drops. It's really unfortunate that Gallade doesn't have Inner Focus, right? Yeah, the normal Gallade does not have Inner Focus, so normal Gallade can get intimidated by Incine before Mega Evolving, which is annoying. But after Mega Evolving, the Gallade is just completely safe from Incineroar, or after the first turn, right? Before Incineroar switches out. So I think it's a good Mega. It's a good Mega. As you can see, we have a lot of fighting types in the top bracket, just because fighting type is really good. We have Mega Gallade, we have Mega Heracross, we have Mega Mewtwo X, which is a really good. Yeah, fighting types are phenomenal. In my opinion, they are really good. And now we are missing Mega Lucario. Oh my god, why did I left Mega Lucario to the end? Mega Lucario is really good as well, in part because it is a fighting type, but it also has access to the steel typing, which is good and can protect this Pokemon from psychic Pokemon or type of damage and fairy type damage as well. It also is rocking the adaptability, meaning that its damage output is going to get increased by quite a bit. And this Pokemon has really good stats. It has a 145 attack stat with 140 special attack stat, so it is a really good mixed attacker, and it is rocking the 112 speed, so it is just faster than Mega Gallade, right? Which is good as well. The only weakness of Mega Lucario is the fact that it's a little bit frail. It has 70 HP, 88 defense and 70 special defense, so it is a little bit more on the frail side of things. But once again, priority moves are annoying, but you can fight back against those priority moves. You can just use Pokemon that can block priority moves. You have a lot of them. You have Serena, you have Farigiraf, and Farigiraf is really good because it also has access to Helping Hand. You have Indeedee that gives you Helping Hand and Follow Me support. So I think that even though this Pokemon is really frail, I think that the damage output of this Pokemon is really good. I am going to put it on A tier. Probably not A tier, but like B tier. I think that all of these Pokemon are just better than it. Is Mega Heracross better than Mega Lucario? That's a good question. Maybe Mega Heracross is also a B tier. Something like this. The only Pokemon that I'm missing so far, I think it's Mega Lopunny, that it's here. Let me just double check. But I do think that is absolutely the case. Yeah, it is. So Mega Lopunny is a normal and fighting type Pokemon, and it's actually kind of cool. This Pokemon has a really nice ability, and that ability, when it Mega Evolves, that ability is Scrappy, making it so that this Pokemon can actually hit Ghost type Pokemon, which is phenomenal. Previously, this Pokemon used a lot of the return, was really reliant on the return move to deal good consistent damage to basically everything, right? Return is not on the game anymore, and I don't think it's going to return. But this Pokemon is just a really good cleanup sweeper. You do have a 136 base attack stat and 135 speed stat. Your bulk is not terrible. You have 65 HP, but you have 94 to defense and 96 to special defense. So you are not that frail, but you cannot take more than 2 hits. And you can deal just a lot of damage. This Pokemon has access to close combat, has access to high jump kick, low kick, drain punch, all absolutely goated. Also has access to power up punch. We've talked about how good power up punch is, so that is something to keep in mind. And this Pokemon also, I think it gained access to Double Edge, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just double check here. Sorry, let me just double check here, but I do think, oh, it did not get access to Double Edge. Oof, but you do have access to close combat, right? You do have access to close combat. So this Pokemon might be a little bit weaker than we are used to, just because it lost the ability to use return, right? But I think it still does a lot of damage, even with a subpar normal type move like, I don't know, like Headbutt, for example, or the Facade, even if you want to use that. Yeah, I think it's still a good Pokemon. And I'm going to rank this fella. Yeah, I'm going to rank it behind all these fighting types. But you guys didn't tell me, man. I was completely forgetting Mega Rayquaza and Mega Garchomp. Mega Garchomp, I have to be completely honest, this Pokemon loses speed when it Mega Evolves, gains a lot of attack, yeah, but you lose speed, and the speed that you drop, it makes you be at a speed stat that is less than 100, and 100 base stats on the speed stat is really important. It makes you really competitive, and losing that is just really painful. You have a 92 defense stat, speed stat, which is not that great. And like I said, Garchomp by itself is really amazing. It suffers from the Steelix thing that, like, I don't really want to lose the properties that the normal Garchomp gives, right? I really don't. And that's what I feel when I use Mega Garchomp. I think I feel that I lose a lot by Mega Evolving this Pokemon. It's not D tier, but I think it's C tier. I don't think it's better than that. It does have access to Sand Force, which is really good. Nah, man, what am I saying? Yeah, it's B tier. It's not good, but it's low B tier. Losing that speed stat is really annoying. But you do a lot of damage. When you hit someone, you do a lot of damage. But really low B tier, just because you lose a lot of speed, man. Yeah, you just lose a lot of speed, and that is not worth it. Especially when a lot of these Megas are faster than you, and can probably, maybe not one-shot you, but put you really close to a KO range, right? Into the KO range. And then we have like the strongest Mega Evolution ever, that is Mega Rayquaza, the Primal Kyogre, Primal Groudon. They are all, I mean, I should even create a tier, a new tier, add the tier above, and I'm just going to put like just Mega Broken. No, I'm just gonna put like triple S. You will come here, and I'm just going to be doing this. Okay, so just to put this Pokemon on their own tier. I don't think that this, like, yeah. I just want to separate it because these Pokemon are just absolutely fantastic. Some of these Pokemon actually can compete with these ones, but I just want to separate them. I don't think it is fair. We also have Mega Glalie. I think now this is the last one. I'm not missing anyone. Mega Odino. Why did I think that Mega Odino was in Mega Diancie? Oh my god, I'm a fraud. Okay, Mega Glalie. It gets a Refrigerate ability, turning normal type moves into ice type moves. Mega Glalie is not horrible, but it is worse than most of the Megas. Ice typing is really good offensively. Mega Glalie only has 120 attack and special attack. The bulk is subpar on the 80s and the speed is 100, meaning that this Pokemon is a trash. Completely trash. You cannot use them. It also lost the ability to use a return, so that is not good at all, which is, yeah. So, to finish off, finally finish off, we are missing a Mega Odino and Mega Diancie. Mega Diancie I am just going to put in F tier already because it's a mythical Pokemon. and is a Pokemon that you are probably just not going to get access to use in ranked ladder or anything of the sort, those meaning tournaments and all of that. Mega Dance is actually not bad because it has a good defensive stat, it has a good move in Diamond Storm that it raises its defense, and it has a good viable body press set, but you will probably not be able to use this Pokemon, so I am going to put it in the lowest tier possible. But then we have Mega Audino. Mega Audino is actually a Pokemon that I really like. I don't know why I like this type of Pokemons, but I do. Mega Audino is a normal and fairy type Pokemon. When it Mega Evolves, it gets the ability Healer. At the end of the turn, there is a 30% chance of either ally being healed from a status condition. This means that this Pokemon is actually really good in preventing your partner Pokemon from getting unlucky, let's say. For example, if your partner Pokemon gets Flare Blitz and it gets burned, there's a chance, a 30% chance, that Audino can actually just cure that Pokemon's burn, and that is quite good. It is a more of a passive game style with Mega Audino, but it is not an awful Pokemon by any means, I think. It's a really bulky Pokemon with 103 HP, 126 defense, and 126 special defense. The special attack is really low, it's only 80. And yeah, even though I really like this Pokemon, and I think that Mega Audino is quite cool, I think that it really has a place in competitive use, in the competitive stage, I mean, just because you can't really do much with it, right? If this Pokemon, for example, I know that it learns Heal Pulse, of course, it is good to set up your sweeping Pokemon, but this Pokemon does not get access to, for example, Follow Me, which I think it would be really good, like Follow Me and Heal Pulse. I think those are really good, but this Pokemon does not have access to that, right? I think it's a really passive Pokemon. To make it succeed, you have to set it up with Calm Minds, right? And yeah, just pray a little bit that you can do anything with it. And for this reason, I think it is going to go at the end of D tier. Now, I am pretty sure that we don't have a single Pokemon here that is not new. Yeah, I think that this is it. Okay, yeah, I think that this is it. So, now I will be ordering this Pokemon around to make the final tier list, and I'll be back when I get that done. So I'll be seeing you right now. So having done the rankings, I think this is the last update to the tier list. I think this is good like this. There's some clear exceptions here. So for example, Mega Swampert is only in A if it's in the rain, of course, because without the rain that Pokemon cannot do much, right? Without the Swift Swim, that is just basically a really buff beat stick, but I don't think it does much other than that. I think if it is in a position that it does not have the rain, I think it is probably a D tier Pokemon, most likely, I think. As for the rest of them, I think this is pretty nicely cleaned up. I don't have any other things to say. Some of them I think are unfortunate, you know. In the F tier, I think these are the obvious, the most obvious guys to have here, right? So Mega Audino cannot achieve anything. Really, it does not have a lot of support for the team, although it is a pretty cool concept. It cannot do much, right? Mega Banette, even though it is extremely strong offensively, the fact that it doesn't have a lot of offensive moves, good offensive moves, and the fact that it loses its abilities to gain Prankster when in reality this Pokemon just wants to be offensive, not defensive or supportive, just really hinders this one, right? And Mega Sableye is really sad to see, because you usually use Sableye for its prankster ability, right? And the fact that it cannot get taunted, or that it cannot get faked out. So those are the biggest things about Mega Sableye. But the thing is that this Pokemon loses prankster, and it gains Magic Bounce, and it's not really that relevant, the gain of a Magic Bounce. I don't think it does much for this little guy, and the only source of damage that he has, it's Nightshade and Foul Play. Although he has a lot of good supportive moves, the fact that it loses Prankster and that this is a base 20 speed Pokemon really hinders it, right? So it is a little bit sad, because it's such a cool concept, but yeah, it's just a little bit sad. And then we have Mega Diancie. Mega Diancie is really strong, but like I said, it's a mythical Pokemon and you will not be able to use it in any sort of competitions. So yeah, it's an automatic F tier for me. The rest of them, I think this is kinda accurate for the start of Pokemon Champions, in my opinion. I think that there are a lot of Pokemon here that can go up and down, right? But I think this is mostly like accurate, okay? So yeah, but now that we have ranked the existing Mega Pokemon, we now need also to add the new Mega Pokemon that have gained their Mega Evolution in Pokemon Legends EA, and that we already know their abilities, I mean, and those are of course Mega Chestnut, Delphox Greninja, and Starmie. We can start here for the Mega Starmie. Mega Starmie, it is theorized that it has huge power due to the fact that this Pokemon was buffed in its attack stat by 40 points, the same as Mega Mawile in Pokemon Legends EA. This roughly means that this Pokemon will have huge power or pure power. So yeah, we can estimate that it's going to be that. It is still a Psychic and Water type, but yeah, it's going to be extremely physical, offensive. It is also a pretty fast Pokemon, but other than that, what can this Pokemon really achieve? Not much. I would say that it's a better version, for example, of Swampert, right? It is a really good physical attacker, but not much than that. I would put it in B tier, but not in like a really high level of B tier. I don't think it deserves. I think it would be around like this position. I really value Mega Pidgeot's ability and the fact that it is not only fast, but it is strong, and it has access to really strong stab moves, okay? I really value that, and I really value the fact that Gyarados has Intimidate, for example. I value this Pokemon's speed, right? This bulk, and the fact that it can avoid Focus Ashes. I think that Mega Starmie will be just a middling evolution, in my opinion. But it's not a bad Mega Evolution. Now we have to rank these three here. So Mega Chestnut, we already made a video about it, right? But this Pokemon gains a really huge buff with this Mega Evolution. It does keep his bulletproof ability, which is absolutely fantastic because it gives immunity to all bullet type moves. I made a reference in my previous video that this Pokemon actually becomes completely immune to Mega Gengar, a Pokemon that is really strong. This Mega Chestnut is basically a stored Zamazenta, but is a Pokemon that actually can do what Zamazenta can't, in the way that it has a lot of sustain with Leech Seed, okay? So I think this is a really strong Pokemon, and I think that this Mega Evolution, in my opinion, positions itself in the S tier. It is really physically bulky. It has access to Stab, Body Press, it has Spiky Shield, Wide Guard, it has Wood Hammer, it has Grassy Glide, it has Lead Sheath, it has Iron Defense. I think that this Pokemon is really efficient. There are obvious counters to it, like for example Mega Salamence and Mega Charizard. Mega Guard of War is also an issue for this Pokemon, so I put it in this position because even though it is extremely strong, it has some huge counters. Mega Pidgeot is another one, Camerupt, if it's in Trick Room, is another one, and Mega Pinsir is another one. You have a lot of counters to this Pokemon, but I think it's really efficient, and the fact that it learns Leech Seed really boosts this Pokemon potential, in my opinion. So now we have Mega Delphox, and this will be another straight S tier. It is a fire psychic Pokemon with access to Levitate, meaning that it is going to be immune to ground type moves, which is really important because it is the main way that, for example, Mega Metagross, Mega Kangaskhan, and even Mega Charizard Y would actually hit this Pokemon, right, with ground type moves. The fact that it has Levitate, it means that it is immune to those attacks, but then this Pokemon is also really specially defensive, meaning that it can actually take a lot of pressure that these special attackers want to put out. It also resists fighting type moves that are really common and prevalent in the meta, and a lot of good Mega Evolutions are in fact fighting types, so it's really good. It has access to Heatwave as well, so it is pretty fantastic. I'm kinda torn about having Mega Gardevoir as a better Mega than Mega Delphox. I actually don't know. I think that Mega Delphox is really good, a bit situational in my opinion, where these three and even Mega Gardevoir are not situational. I think that Mega Delphox is really situational, but it is absolutely fantastic. I put it in front of Mega Chestnut because it completely counters what Mega Chestnut wants to do, right? And can one-shot it, or almost one-shot it. So yeah, and none of these Pokemon can really touch Mega Delphox, with the exception of course, the Mega Gyarados, Mega Starmie, and Mega Sharpedo. Mega Blastoise also has a chance to counter Mega Delphox, but yeah, I think it is in a really solid position. And then we have Greninja. Greninja has the ability Protein, which is really good. It is also a really fast mixed attacker, but in all honesty, I don't see this Pokemon being that good. I think I'm going to put it just behind Mega Starmie. In VGC at least. In VGC I think it's going to be like this. Or, I mean, no, I can put him in this position here. It's just because that Mega Greninja does not have a lot of good offensive moves, or it doesn't have a really diverse move pool. And then the fact that it is a mixed attacker, a really frail mixed attacker, just kind of makes things a little bit more difficult for it, right? But it is really fast and it hits strong, especially with Protein, but I don't think it is near the level of the other two starter Pokemon. In my opinion, it really isn't. The rest of these Pokemon, we do not have their abilities confirmed, and so I won't be adding these ones to this tier list here. But yeah, the tier list is going to be staying like this for a while, and yeah, I hope it helped you guys. But yeah, I'll be doing more content like this, be tier lists, team building guides, or VGC guides in general. So if any of that interests you, please do support the channel, do check out the other content that I've been making for this past year. I think that it can be really helpful in your VGC journey, be it in the meta that Pokemon Champions is going to be running on, but also for Regulation F and Regulation I, both regulations that are still active in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. So yeah, thank you so much for watching the video so far, and I'll be seeing you all in the next one. Bye!